Hello friends, I wanted to discuss today 3 counterintuitive moves that you can do in order to observe fat loss. The last one will surprise you, but before I begin, I want to introduce myself. My name is Jessica and I engage in conversations about weight loss, anything to do with how to help yourself in terms of function, how to reduce symptoms of chronic disease if that's possible, and at the same time how kind of change your body, how you want it to look like in your terms. So the counterintuitive things that I want to discuss is the first is you have to eat meals that are actually involved the four macros, and they can be large. It's called volume eating. So if you're having, for example, chicken nuggets, or you're having chicken or even steak, you can add fiber, add carbs, add fat. Always keeping in mind to add the 4 macros, which is protein, fat, carbohydrate, and fiber. Did I say that? Anyway. Then, if you, for example, have something that's very caloric dense, you can have it. Except you can add, for example, if you want to have pizza, you can have pizza, but have 2 slices and then add a salad and incorporate the protein, the fiber, and whatever's left that you are missing. Now, not every meal has to look the same, but always think about how I can make this meal satiating, because at the end of the day, if you feel full, you're not craving, you're not feeling like you're not eating enough, which is actually the point of this first one, is that you don't have to feel like you're hungry. That's not a great indicator that you're losing weight. A great indicator is if you're in a calorie deficit, right? But sometimes that's hard to do, but I digress. Then you have the second point is you have to get enough sleep. Sleep is very, very important. That's where you do a lot of the healing. That's where you recuperate and you're able to get more. You're able to sustain more work in your body in terms of how you can start to feel rested, be able to do that spin class, be able to do that weight training, and able to take on your day. Because if you feel really tired, you won't be able to do the things that you love to do. Now, the last one is, in order to change your body, meaning that if you want that to have a little bit more definition in terms of your behind, or you want to, slimmer waist, you have defined arms, you actually have to do a slight caloric deficit, not the recommended 500 calories per day type of thing, in order to lose 1 point. So the reason why is because you are building muscle and you are losing fat. So that requires for you to take an amount of protein. You can get a calculator, and you also have to eat enough, because you are engaging in weightlifting, walking, doing things. So in order for you to be able to sustain those daily activities, you have to eat enough, but not enough, but enough for you to do it, but not to where you're eating over your calories. So having a slight caloric deficit will help in terms of body recomposition. I think more requires that more you can lose both fat and muscle. There's an amount of muscle you lose, but so that's what I'm learning in terms of my own body and in terms of how to navigate weight loss, because there's a point where you cannot actually lose, not that you cannot lose any more weight. There's a point where you cannot go any lower. For example, if I am right now at 1,800 to 2,000 calories per day, and I spend around 2,100, that's acceptable. But I cannot possibly go down to 1,500 calories per day. It's because my body won't be able to live under that little calories. It can't. Because of that, some things kind of have to change. I can lift a little heavy. Progressive overload is just a godsend, meaning that honestly, I think that when you do that, instead of reducing your calories even further, you can definitely see changes in your body, which you will be so happy with. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I will see you in lives maybe in a couple weeks. I'm gonna periodically post, but I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you on the next one.